Kia ora, New Zealand. Welcome to Stargate Live. My name's Matt Drake, and this is episode 51. I am joined, as ever, by Brady Cush. Good evening, Brady.
Hey, Matt. How you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. Good. Been playing a lot of golf recently, so it's been great.
Has it been
good fun?
Been paying off?
Yeah.
How are you shooting?
It has actually 2 personal bests in a week, so I can't really complain with that. Very, very happy. I hope everyone else has had a good week. We're about to find out how everyone's done with some hot scores. Then we're going to go and speak to the tournament director and host of this weekend's Westside of Woodville, Ryan Kitto. He's been playing disc golf a while, so he'll have plenty of stories for us. We're then going to sum up a little bit of news that we've come across, international. And we'll remind you all also of the Discmania competition that's going on right now. And we'll tell you a little bit more about how to enter. That's still open for the next couple of weeks. And a little bit about some upcoming events. There's plenty of disc golf to be played up and down the country. Before we get to that, Brady, take us through the South.
Sweet. Starting on the South Island, let's start in none other than Invercargill, soon to host the Southern Smash. Levi Stout taking out the hot round with a 17 under par, just one shot off. Perfect. Out to Dunedin and Chingford, we got Cameron Mackey coming in at -5. The new Brockville course, Tom McKay comes in at -6 for the hot round this week. Sliding over to Queenstown, Robert Craston's coming off from TD duties, shooting 15 under par. Nice shooting, Roberts. And out at Tucker's Beach, always summer at Tucker's, Luke Holston coming in at -6. Over the range, let's go to Ely Point in Wanaka. We have Alex Basford, Matt Pritchard, Haley Flintoff all coming in at -4. Good to see Haley out again. At Lismore, we got Matt Pritchard coming in at -8. Sliding up to the Garden City up in Christchurch, the most played, if anyone was following on UDisc, most played course in New Zealand. Jelly Park, Dylan Deadman Nafi comes in at 13 under par. Good shooting, Dylan. Out at Brooker, we have Sergey Sanin and Jeremy Brockenshire coming in at -6 with a hot round this week. And to finish us off on the South Island, Queen's Park Reserve, Jasper Vandermeer coming in at -9. Another perfect round. Matt, take us through the North.
So in the North Island, starting at Berrenpore in the hills, myself and Aaron Neal hit 5 under par this week for the tying the hot scores of the round. At Hikoikoi, Aaron was out again with 3 under par. Well done to him. At Harcourt Park, Brady Cush took it out with a 7 under par this week. Very well done there. Up to Palmerston North and Linklater, and it's Galal Brizzle who hits 4 under par. So well done to Galal. In Spa Park Red, Anthony Rogers has been out and about with a -4, so well done to him. Elliot Dunn takes out the hottest score in Flaxmere with a -1. And up at McLaren's, it's Jimmy Tufu who hits a 3 under par. And finally at Henderson 18, it's Sean McKenzie with an 11 under par, so well done to him. In the league, the Wellington Summer League, which happened yesterday, Brady Cush took out the win yesterday with a 997 rated 7 under par. So very well done, Brady, on that round. That's some pretty hot shooting, and I hear that you actually left some shots out there as well. So that's got to be encouraging.
Yeah. All I got to, if I can dial in my putter, there's definitely over 1,000 rated waiting at Harcourt for me. So hopefully you got a few more weeks of league to put one of those rounds together.
Fantastic. Right. Getting into from leagues to tournaments. First kind of, I guess weekend tournament of the year is taking place at Woodville. It's the west side of Woodville. It's on Ryan Kitto's own property. And he joins us this evening. Good evening, Ryan.
Hey guys, how you going?
Very good, thank you. Very good. Looks like you're out and about in the garden. What are you up to?
Just out cooking a barbecue. We had our social sessions, which we normally have over at Linklater. We've had them here tonight, and we'll build up for the tournament this weekend here at Westside of Woodville. So they're finishing off the back nine, and I'm here cooking some barbecue. So you might see a bit of smoke, and that's not me having anything else. It's just good old New Zealand cooking food.
Fantastic. I think you're our first guest who joins us both outside and whilst cooking. So congratulations for that.
Cool.
In terms of the tournament this weekend, what can people expect? I know there's a lot of excitement in Wellington from the players who are coming up. What can people expect from this weekend?
So this weekend's all about having a bit of fun. It's not so much competition driven as we normally are used to now, with cash prizes and all these different divisions and that. I've got 3 basic divisions, which is open, am, and women's, and it's just about having fun. I've got some prizes for the winners, and then I'll draw numbers. I've made some bag tags up, and everyone will get a number, and I'll draw some numbers out after I've given out the main prizes. And I'm pretty sure I've got enough prizes that everyone should be able to leave with something from the Westside of Woodville.
Fantastic. And I have to say, it's great to see tournaments like this popping up. We've talked on the show many times about tournaments selling out super quick, and I think to put one on literally in your backyard, I think is fantastic. What kind of preparation have you had to do for it?
Not too much. My sheep and my cows mowed most of my paddocks for me. I just had to maneuver and structure them to have certain paddocks down by a certain time. And my hay contractor took care of the big paddock by the house here. So I mowed a few thistles, and the Palmy boys came over, did some brush cutting for me with their weed eaters and stuff. And it hasn't been too bad to get ready for it. Really, it's been quite good. So.
Fantastic.
Well, and you talk about that you have prizes for everyone. Like I've seen a few of them hitting Facebook recently. Tell us kind of how that came about, and like you organizing some dyed discs for the weekend.
So Hayden at Disc Shop put me in contact with the Aotearoa Disc Art Collective on Facebook, and I messaged each one of them and asked them to do a dye. Didn't have to be on a Westside disc, just any disc. But kind of Westside of Woodville or anything to do with it related. And they all came up with a pretty good design on most of the discs. So it's been really good. I've got Charlotte Dunkley from Market with Style made some mini markers for me with some Westside disc logos. And they've come out absolutely mint. There's over a dozen of those to give away. I've had prizes from TOA Disc Golf down in Upper Hutt there with Mike Riley. I've got some hats from him, keychains from Mitch at Happy Hire. Shout out to Mitch. He's given me some tables and chairs and everything that I need for the weekend, and some artificial turf too. So a lot of people have come together and helped me out and shouted some prizes and that. And Jason Packer from Taranaki, who's coming to play, approached me after he registered and said, "Hey, I own a chili company, would make sauces and stuff. Would you like me to give you some as prizes and bring some down?" I said, "Oh, hey, why not? That'd be great." So a variety of prizes. So
fantastic. It's good
now.
Sorry, Brady.
Go ahead, Matt.
No, you go.
Like being a TD myself and like putting one on your backyard, like is the course permanent? Like what's the hardest thing for you about running a tournament, or like what's the easiest thing about running a tournament?
No, I guess just the preparation's probably the hardest thing. Is again just making sure everything's as it should be. And obviously one of the challenges here is I leave paddocks long with grass for stock, and so just managing that coming up to it was a challenge, but I managed to get it pretty bang on. I think my course is nowhere near manicured, but this weekend I'd say at least 85% of my course is pretty manicured coming in. So it's a bit of a treat for those coming. They'll be able to play on, a course that you won't be able to play like that most of the year here because it gets a bit different.
So have you've been round and you've had a few practice rounds. For the people who are coming up this weekend, what's a good score?
A good score, you're probably looking at either par or, a couple under. I haven't been out. I know it probably seems stupid, but I haven't been out practicing a whole lot. by the end of the day, after doing a whole lot of stuff and getting things tidied up, I'm knackered and I can't be bothered throwing a disc. So the last time I threw 18 holes here was the last Westside of Woodville back in March. So I've played 9 holes, but I haven't gone around and played the whole 18 since. So as stupid as that might sound, it's not as much fun when you're here by yourself.
Is there do you have a signature hole that you think sums up the course well, or one that's your particular favorite?
Hole number 6, thread the pine needle. I posted a video on 4999 Facebook page earlier on. If you haven't checked that out, go to 4999 Disc Golf and have a look. Hayden flew his drone through the pine needle, thread the pine needle hole. So you'll see there's not much room for error on that one. You've got to get a nice straight disc, and if you don't, hope that it kicks off somewhere really nice. So
yeah, I was gonna say, and Ryan, who you?
Yep.
Oh,
sorry, ignore him. The boys just turned up.
You got any favorites for the weekend? Who do you think's going to take
any
it
favorite, out? What, players or holes?
Yeah, players.
Sorry?
Players.
Geez, Chris Sinai is going to be one to watch. He won the last Westside of Woodville back in March with a convincing little score. First time out, hadn't practiced the course. So if he's turning up Saturday morning without a practice round, so I'd watch out for Chris again. And of course, Stan Morris coming up from Upper Hutt as well. We all know Stan with his big arms. So one to watch there. Yep.
Good stuff. And can we follow it?
Sorry?
Can we follow the action, or will you be posting the scores afterwards for us that
we are using UDisc. I don't know if there will be UDisc live scores. I will post that if there is. I am not 100% sure. I'd love to, but I haven't got that confirmed yet.
Yeah, sweet. And so the tournament's grown, right, since the one you ran back in March. You've got more players this time?
Yeah, so March was a bit of a tester for me to see. I've got holes, 2 tees that shoot to the same basket on some of the holes. So March was a bit of a tester to see, hey, how much hold up is there by having these holes crossing over. And March gave me a good idea with 25 people that there was too many crossovers, which I kind of knew. But I talked to my neighbor down the road who has 5 acres and said to her, hey, can I use your property for 4 holes for a weekend? And she agreed. I'll buy her some alcohol, of course. She likes Bailey's. So shout out to Julia down the road. And so, yes, we've got 4 holes there. So I've taken 2 of the holes out on the first 9, 2 of the holes out on the back 9, and put them together into one area there. And it should flow a lot better this weekend. There will be a little hold-ups, but nowhere near like it was back in March.
Because you've got over 50 players this weekend, right?
I did have 50, as any TD knows. Not everything works out at 50, but we've had some people pull out, as you do. Sorry, I'm just going to go inside here. Yeah, so we've had some people pull out, and I'm down to about 45 players now. So,
wow. Well, that's still double what it was last year, and still a very good amount to have.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And I mean, if there's anyone out there watching and you're within 2 or 3 hours of Woodville, hey, give me a shout out, and we can get you up here for the weekend.
Fantastic. What's the I don't know if you've given any thought to future years or what you want to do with this tournament. Is it just sort of to have a bit of fun for a weekend, get some people together, and that's and you're happy to have it like that, or have you got any aspiration to? Yeah,
correct. I want to keep it kind of that homegrown tournament vibe of, people are coming here to camp in the weekend. I've cleared out a spot down by the river for people to go and camp. So there'll be lots of people going up and down the road and enjoying the scenery around here. So I just want to keep it as kind of that festival vibe of people can come here for a weekend, not worry about the drama, the politics, and just enjoy disc golf for what it was when I first started playing, and that was a simple game of throwing a disc in a basket without the pressures of playing for money and big prizes and points for tours and and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, I love the tour. I love playing. I go out there, I'm competing, but it's good to have a chill out weekend of disc golf where the pressure's off a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. We there's fewer of those tournaments that I'm seeing coming about. There's a lot of kind of beginner have a go days that are coming up, which is great, which suits a particular audience. You've obviously got the tour, which is pulling ability up from the top end. I think what you've got there really fills a niche, and you can tell by the popularity of the event that and certainly talking to a lot of the Wellington guys who are going out, there's a big contingent from Wellington going out this weekend. They're all really excited and looking forward to it. So fantastic.
Yeah, I've got players coming from Queenstown and Auckland, so they're from both ends of the country. So yeah, it's a good variety coming, and I've got more AM players than I do Open. So I've got 10 ladies coming for the weekend, which is a really nice number of ladies for a 50-person tournament. I've got 14 Open players and 21 AM players at the moment. So yeah, it's really not an imbalance, but normally you get a lot more of the big boys. So I'm glad that there's a lot of AM players here to come and enjoy it. So yeah.
And you've got the land, right? You've got the land to be able to put on an 18-hole tournament with a reasonable length. I think I've seen some of the distances, and they're not, it's not pitch and putt by any stretch. What would you say to anyone out there who kind of thinks, that's something I could do, but I don't have the land? I mean, if they had, assuming they can find the course or whatever to do it on, what would be your message to somebody who wanted to run a tournament similar to yours, which is very much a kind of homely family feel?
I'd say just get into it. Find a spot. It doesn't have to be a scenic reserve or anything like that. You just need to find that place. My property is only 10 acres. Like I say, I've got crossovers, so you just work with what you've got. And I mean, you look at what's popping up around New Zealand. There's pop-up courses and things like that, and people are out there doing it. There's a will, there's a way. So people, find an area and just put it out there. People will come. What's the old saying? If you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
Indeed. Fantastic.
All that meat on the barbecue.
Okay.
Well, before we get to Desert Island Disc Golf, I guess I just have one thing from like one TD to another, like in knowing that you play as well. To other TDs out there who are listening, what do you think is, from when you started, because I know you're like me, you've been playing a long time, what's one thing that TDs could do to help encourage, besides just building it and having them come, to encourage more kind of fun at tournaments rather than necessarily that competitive side?
Yeah, geez, that's a tough one. Pull back from the competition side of things, I guess. I mean, make that vibe of a tournament fun and friendly rather than directed at getting the big guns there for everyone to watch. I'm sure most people know my position on Super Sixes and stuff like that. I'd rather go out and play more holes of disc golf myself rather than watch somebody else. Even though I've played in some Super Sixes, I'd still, I'd rather go out and play with everybody rather than just the big boys. Don't get me wrong, there's a place for that at a lot of tournaments, but there needs to be more of these fun vibe tournaments that aren't directed at being so serious, I guess, is my thing.
Cool. No, it sounds great.
Fantastic. Ryan, let's get into Desert Island Disc Golf.
Sweet. I'm just going to run and grab my discs. I left them out by the barbecue. 2 steps.
Okay, right. Well, whilst we're doing that, we will talk about the premise of this section of the show. The premise is that Ryan is deserted on a desert island, and this desert island has a disc golf course on it, fortunately, and he's been stranded on this desert island with 3 of his favorite discs and 3 card mates. They can be anybody he wants, living or dead, real or fantasy, pro disc golfers, or people down the road, maybe even Julie from next door. Ryan, what are you throwing first up? What are your 3 discs?
Okay, so first of all, we'll go for the driver, I guess. I've only had this probably a month or two, but it's my Westside Disc VIPX Giant. The VIPX plastic just seems to fly a lot nicer than your standard VIP and your tournament plastic. So this one here I can control quite well, and if I want it to bomb left, I can make it bomb left. So yeah, number one, nice controllable VIPX Giant.
Well, before we move on to the next one, I've got a quick question about that X plastic, because it's similar with Opto X in Latitude. It's the same plastic essentially. How do you find, so for anybody who's got an Opto or a VIP disc there and they see one that they might, that's the same mold but is a VIP X or an Opto X, what can they expect different from that disc compared to the one they have already?
So I've only got a VIPX Giant, so I can't talk for all the molds, but my normal VIP Giant would be quite an overstable bomber. The VIPX holds a lot nicer in the wind and it flies a little bit more stable before it starts to hook to the left, so I can control it a lot more. And the VIPX has a real nice tacky feel to the grip on it too, whereas the VIP can get quite slippy at times. So
yeah. Okay, sweet. Yeah, I have to say I agree. I find the same with the Opto X stuff as well. Okay, what about your mid-range?
My mid-range, I am going with my Chameleon X VIPX Gatekeeper. This thing here is a straight beauty. You put her on a straight line and it goes on a straight line. You put it to the right, it goes to the right. You put it to the left, it'll go to the left. So it's a pretty good mid-range for pretty much any shot that I need to do. So.
And pretty as well.
Yeah. That's shout out to Hayden. He gave me that disc when they came into stock, and he put that aside and said, "That one's for you, bro." And I said, "Thank you very much. That's a stunner."
The Chameleon stuff is really good from Latitude.
It's again so much more stable than its counterparts. Yep.
And what's your putter?
So my putter, I have not really changed my main putter for, I'd say 7 or 8 years plus now, and that would be the Swan 1 Reborn soft plastic. This thing, you probably can't see much of the stamp. It's fairly well beaten and worn in, but my go-to putter whenever I'm within 10 meters of a basket and there's no wind, then it's my Swan. If there's wind, it's going to be a shield, but Swan 1 Reborn all day long. Been my go-to for years. I've got other Swan 1 Reborns out in the container. I've never used them. I've always used my white one. It's always flies good and true for me.
And that's in Zero Soft. Oh, not Zero Soft.
Just BT Soft.
BT Soft.
I have got a Mega Soft one as well, but that's the BT Soft for up close. And when I'm outside 10, I'll use a medium, BT medium.
Right. Okay. So closer range, you're using that kind of more flexible plastic and something.
Correct. Yeah. Inside 10 all day long, I'll use my Swan one. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay.
And just a shout out, I got this last week in the VIP box. For those who haven't seen them, the new Orbit plastic swords that came out. These things are money. Like I tried the Tournament X plastic Erica Stinch Bomb sword 2 weeks prior to that, and I thought, damn, I've got to get another one of those. But if you haven't thrown one of these, money. They are out the bag, real nice throwers. Outdrove a basket I've never outdroven before, and I didn't even throw it as hard as I thought I did. So.
Fantastic. That Orbit stuff again. I know I'm a bit of a fanboy of Latitude and that plastic as well. It's fantastic. So who is on your card? Who are your card mates?
So on my card, so first of all, I would go with Tom Kent. Not many people might know him. He is the guy who got me into disc golf back in 2004. Tom was from America, Lake Tahoe. I knew him through kindergarten. I was at Harcourt Park one day with my kids, and I saw him walking around with this bag over his shoulder, and I said, "Hey man, how you going?" And he said, "Oh, good." I said, "What are you up to?" And he said, "I'm just shooting some baskets." And I said, "Oh, is there a basketball court around here?" I was into basketball. And he said, no, disc golf. And he pulls out a Innova Raven DX plastic and hands it to me and said, "See that basket down there? Throw that at that." And I threw it at it, and that was me. I was hooked. How do I get a disc? And he gave me that disc. I've still got that disc out in my collection. I don't even think they do Innova Ravens anymore. I probably haven't for many years. But yeah, that's Tom Kent, Lake Tahoe. He's back there now, so shout out to him for getting me into disc golf way back when.
Fantastic. Excellent. Okay, who else?
So, and second, just to chuck a pro in the mix, I wouldn't mind playing around with James Conrad. I like my jump putts, like most people who have seen me play know. And some people have come to me and said, "Oh, you've got a jump putt like James Conrad." I don't have the beautiful flowing hair like James, and I don't have his body size. But yeah, James Conrad, chuck him on a card with me. I'd love to have a go and a bit of banter with that guy.
Fantastic. And number three?
Number three, New Zealand legend of disc golf, Bob Gentle. Me and Bob, for years at tournaments, have somehow always ended up on a card. Probably because I was shooting the same score as him, and at times he was kicking my ass, being all those years older than me and having his dodgy knees and hips, and he was still kicking my ass, and I really looked up to Bob, and me and him have really good conversations and chat when we end up on a card, and there's always that banter that we have of, I wonder if we're going to end up on a card together at this tournament kind of thing. So shout out Bob Gentle. Yeah, you're a legend, and I've thoroughly enjoyed playing on cards with you for my whole career.
Fantastic. Great group of three, and some really nice discs there as well to take around on your desert island.
Thank you.
Good work. Now we're going to move into our quick fire round. So the quick fire round is there's the family friendly front nine, which is 9 easy questions that starts off. Everybody gets the same questions, and then Brady's got a safari back 9 for you, which is a this or that, quick fire, no right answers or wrong answers.
Alrighty.
Yeah, we'll go with the family friendly front 9 first. So what's your name?
Cool. Ryan.
Where were you born?
Dunedin.
Where do you live now?
Woodville, New Zealand.
And your PDGA number?
70458.
How many years have you been playing?
2004, so 18.
And what's your favorite disc?
I'm going to have to go with the Swan 1 Reborn.
And your favorite course?
Harcourt Park's my tried and true. That's where I cut my teeth. And although I've got my own course, Harcourt Park taught me everything I know. So Harcourt Park.
Brilliant. Your favorite MPO player?
Oh, geez. Yeah, James Conrad. Let's go, James.
And your favorite FPO player?
Geez, to be honest, I probably doesn't sound good, but I don't follow a whole lot of women's. But Paige Pierce always seems to do really well when I'm watching, YouTube tournaments. So yeah, let's shout out Paige Pierce.
Good work. And on to the Safari 9, Brady.
Yeah, time. So Safari 9, this or that. Fishing or farming?
Fishing.
Cows or sheep?
Cows.
Hosker or Heiser?
Heiser.
New Zealand Masters title or Wellington Locals trophy?
Masters title.
A pocket pair or a king and queen suited?
King and queen suited.
Nico Lacastro or Matty Oram?
Oh man, if you'd asked me this a few weeks ago, it would have been Nico all day. But let's go Matty, since Nico's no longer my Westside man.
chain out for ace or throw in for par?
I'd chain out for ace any day.
1,000 rated round or win the tournament?
Win the tournament.
And run it or lay up?
Geez, it depends on the situation, but we'll run it.
Maine, that is your Safari Back Nine, Ryan. Thank you for doing Desert Island Disc Golf with us.
Perfect. Cool.
Ryan,
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening, and very best of luck for the tournament this weekend. Really looking forward to hearing about how it goes. There'll be lots of people talking about it down here in Wellington, I'm sure. So very best of luck. Have fun.
I hope so.
And yeah, thank you for putting on a tournament like that. It sounds really good.
Cool. Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah. Good luck to everybody coming this weekend, and travel safe and get here nice and early tomorrow when we'll get a practice round in.
Excellent. And you're coming down to Wellington for Centurion in a couple of weeks.
Indeed. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I've never done 101 holes in a day, maybe in a week, but yeah, not in a day. So let's get on board with that and give it a good run.
Excellent. So we'll see you for then. But have a great weekend. We'll see you soon.
Yeah. Cheers.
Perfect.
Ryan. Peace,
Thanks,
man.
guys. Take care.
Cheers, Ryan.
See ya.
There we go. So Westside of Woodville this weekend. Plenty of people that we know going up, Brady. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a good weekend. Ryan and I have gone back a long way. Him and I have had some really good battles, Hardcore Park specifically. It's really great to see him move up and keep that fire burning for disc golf and to put, baskets and a course on his land, and now running tournaments. And I love the fact that he's like, look, I don't want it to be big. I don't want it to be expensive. I want people to show up and have fun. You know what I mean? And everyone's going home with something, you know what I mean? That's totally awesome. I'm super stoked for the weekend.
Yeah, fantastic. We need more events like that. Good stuff. Okay. So moving on, what have we had? What's in the news this week? What have we seen?
Well, I got to do a little shout out to, my old team, I guess, as it were. Discraft had a pretty big pickup this week. I don't know if you saw or not.
They did.
Yeah. So Robot Chicken, for those of you who haven't known, feel free, spoilers now. Feel free to tune out in 5, 4, 3, 1. Okay. Chris Dickerson has joined Team Discraft from Prodigy in a new 4-year $1 million deal. It sounds like not a lot of details have been released. I'm pretty excited to see him out on the road. It sounds like they got an RV as part of the deal. So him and his wife, Brittany Dickerson, who does amazing photos. If you don't follow her, please do. But yeah, he's come out and his tour series is the Buzz. Robot Chicken Buzzes are already on the shelves, or already sold out from the shelves, I should say. Yeah,
I mean, if you're going to have a tour series disc, right, then you probably want it to be a Buzz. Everyone throws a Buzz. So that's a great move for Discraft, and a great move for Chris Dickerson. As I said on this show before about brands and stuff, I won't go over it again. I like the move to Discraft. That's positive. A move away from Discraft also happened this week.
Yep. I was gonna say, do you want to announce it? Or do you want me to?
Yeah. So Hayley King left Discraft a few weeks ago. She announced that she's signing with Team Innova. So she's joining the Star team at Innova. Which will be really interesting. It sounds like from some of her interviews that those were the discs that she grew up throwing. So going back to some plastic that she recognizes.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was pretty interested to see her leave Discraft. I thought that she was pretty happy. But based on kind of the moves that have happened so far, there's still Kat, who, Katrina Allen, who's still out in the ether of where she's going to end up this year. But it really, I think, allows Hayley to shine at Innova. There's been a bit of talk of, with all these big money and big year deals that, Hayley just went with a pretty conservative, 1-year deal. But that idea of that, she can renegotiate next year, she's not competing with Paige or Missy Gannon or any of the star-studded team that is at Discraft at the moment. So, she can kind of be that, that cash cow, that leading horse, as it were, for for Innova's team, especially on the women's side, especially now that like Kona's kind of come away from them. So, like it definitely is a great move for Haley, I would say.
And a good move for Innova to have an American top FPO player. Obviously, they've got Henna and Evelina on their team as well, who will be touring more this year. So I expect them to be achieving top 10, if not better finishes. So that, I mean, the FPO team for Innova is pretty strong.
Yep. Oh, yeah, it's looking great. I was going to say a lot of the teams are looking really strong. Discraft's looking really strong. Like Innova's looking really strong. Like Prodigy might be about the only ones, but to be fair, like they still have KJ, like and Thomas Gilbert who are repping, like who are two, like great guys out there on tour.
Yeah. And Heavy Young on the FPO side as well. Okay, what else has caught your eye this week?
Those were kind of the big ones, like a lot of pros are getting ready for the tour. So like Vegas is less than a month away. And so a lot of people are kind of getting in their final reps. These are kind of the final moves that I know about. So yeah, I'm just kind of really interested to see. I'm also kind of my sleeper for the year. I'm really excited. Kind of last year we had the big buzz around Brody Smith and how's the ultimate player going to do taking disc golf seriously. This year we have the veteran, I guess we could call him, Scott Stokely is coming back on tour. Right.
Team Casterplast as well. Really excited about
that. Careful now. So he's throwing a mixed bag. He's been sponsored by MVP in the past. I'm pretty sure he was Innova years and years and years ago. But he is pretty adamant this year about keeping a mixed bag. I know that he is throwing the
he's got a Tour Series Berg and a Star as well. Yeah.
So I do know that he has both of those, but he's in his mid 50s. He was pushing Ken Climo for wins, like back in the 90s and early 2000s. Like clearly if you've watched any of his games, he's dedicated the last 2 to 3 months to like hardcore preparing for the tournament. And with people like Pat Brown, who's still winning tournaments and finishing in like top 5, top 10, you have Johnny McRae, who's still winning tournaments and finishing top 5, top 10. Like it really proves that age is not a matter. I mean, New Zealand, heck, we got Simon Feasey, who's been winning stuff left and right until, like Young Guns, Jackson Sullivan, and now Levi Stout kind of come onto the scene, and even like Mikey Yu. So, like there's definitely I'm interested to see how he's going to perform now that there's such a high threshold for entry into the top players. Because I would argue like your top 10, top 20 players, like, they bounce around, but to become a top 20 player anymore is not an easy cup of tea.
Not at all. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes. Obviously, held the distance record a couple of times. So he can sling it. That's for sure. So we'll see how he gets on when the season begins in a month's time. Las Vegas, I think, is the first stop. A little bit closer to home. We've seen a comment there from Below Par Productions. They've got a giveaway going on at the moment. So head over to their Facebook and Instagram pages and take a look. They've got some donations from a lot of the Discmania 1 in 10 team. And they're doing a big giveaway of some Discmania discs. So get onto their Facebook and Instagram and their YouTube. Give them a like, a follow, a subscribe. Get involved. See if you can pick yourself up one of their some really nice discs up for grabs actually. So I entered earlier on today. So let's see how we can. Let's see if you can get yourself something good in preparation for the rest of the summer. Talking of competitions and Discmania, if you wish to enter the Discmania 1 in 10 competition, which is going on right now, then you need to put your guesses for who you think is going to come in the who are going to be in the top 4 of the Discmania 1 in 10, which is going to be announced in 2 weeks' time by Avery Jenkins live on the show. And you need to follow the link I've just put into the comments and follow that link. It takes you to last week's episode. So if you want to watch last week's episode 50, it's a good bit of fun. And pop your guess in the comments. It's got to be in that video. That has to be in that video, the comments. And then next week, what we'll do is we'll get the data analytics team to do a bit of analysis on who's doing what so far with just a week to go. If you haven't put your guess in, then put your guess in. Also, UDisc have released the top 5 courses played in every country. So if you go to the UDisc app, there's a little thing which drops down right at the start. That's how I found it. But also, if you go onto their website, you'll find a link to it as well. Number 1 in New Zealand, Jelly Park, Brady.
Yep. 15,000 plays.
15,000, which is the same as the next 2, which I think were Invercargill and I think Auckland were 3rd, Henderson. Same as the next 2 combined. Shows you how popular that course is down in Christchurch.
But that's only on UDisc. Think about how many people are playing Jelly Park who are not using UDisc yet.
Yeah. Look, so I read a stat that on average it's about only 1 in 5 rounds that are played is on UDisc, is what I've heard. Right.
So that's what 75,000 players, 75,000 rounds,
which is 200 people a day.
Yeah.
If you speak to the people in Christchurch, actually, that's probably not far away. When you average it out over time, Saturdays and Sundays are going to be busy, obviously. But I'd suspect that that's probably about right. And so, I mean, that's huge, isn't it? I mean, if one course is having 75,000 rounds being played on it, I mean, do councils need any more kind of proof or evidence that that disc golf's good for the community and it's good for general health and fitness, and putting in a course will get people out playing? I mean, I know Jelly Park's been in for some time and is well established and has got a good structure of people around it who help the park run to the standard that it does. But even so, I mean, if you're sat there going, my town doesn't have a course, or there's a park down the road that actually really is crying out for one, Ryan said it a moment ago, build it and they will come. People will come. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people who play Jelly Park, and there's probably plenty of people who, maybe some who are watching this show, who make up a good proportion of that 75,000 rounds like themselves, right? But also there'll be people who just play it once or twice, but it all contributes. So yeah, if you're somebody who's thinking, I live just a little bit far away from a course than I'd like, there's some evidence that will happen. That and it doesn't need to be. You don't need a championship course either. The Jelly Park standard layout is pretty short. There are some short holes there. You don't need to be some long bomber, 2,000 meter course in order for it to be it to work. Good stuff. Okay. Finally, we've got events that are coming up. Let's have a look here. And where is it? Here. So some events which we have coming out. Westside of Woodville this weekend, and the Roxburgh Open is also this weekend. So this is obviously held in Roxburgh. Morgan Hartveld is running this, and there's going to be an update, I think, a little bit later on tonight or tomorrow around who the cards are. Yeah,
I was going to say, do you want a quick update on that? I have this just in, like my
Morgan
reached out to me.
Totally. If you've got
beginning of the show, so yeah, he is currently sitting there with the cards currently being done up right now in his lap. So it looks like they're going to have starting holes because Roxborough, the starting holes for both days. Top 5 players are going to make it into a Raz round. And it looks like first place overall is going to be taking home $1,000. So $1,000 up for grabs. Shout out to Morgan and Generation Disc Golf. That's incredible. This is multiple years now that's been doing. Scoring looks like it'll be done on UDisc or on paper. The end of the round, vivid scores and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it seems like he's all ticking along. So yeah, scorecards should be done by the end of the night. Keep your eyes open for that. They will have pretty much your go for the entire weekend, finish in the top 5 and, go for that $1,000 top prize.
Absolutely. Looking forward to that. I'll be following that this weekend. A weekend after that is North Island Champs up at Beffels and Bellaraka. Not heard a huge amount about this. I suspect that as we head more into it, we'll see a little bit more. Obviously, if you're going up, then very best of luck to you there. That same weekend on the Monday is Wellington Centurion. So now very much looking forward to this, Brady. This is being played in Wellington. So the premise here, if you haven't seen it before, is that you play 101 holes of disc golf in one day. It's on Wellington anniversary, and we traverse the 3 courses in Wellington. So we play 2.5 rounds at Harcourt Park, then head down to Petone to play 4 rounds, and then 2 rounds at Berrenport. Start at about 7:30, finish at about 7:30, and in total that makes 101 rounds. And it's most birdies wins. So although there are awards for the best stroke play and for the team, which I'll get to in a second, the main prize is most birdies wins. So it's attack for all 101 holes. You play as a 4. So you pick you get a team of you together, and you all travel in the same car. You take enough supplies and lunch and snacks and stuff with you at the beginning of the day. The idea is that you take everything with you at the beginning and you bring everything back with you at the end. There's no kind of stopping off anywhere. You just do it all in one big hit. It's supposed to be grueling. It's supposed to be tough, and you're supposed to be tired at the end of the day. And you go around as a 4. You score as a 4. Now, for anybody outside of Wellington who wants a bit of a laugh about this, there is, I set up earlier on, a 101 hole layout course on UDisc, so you can follow live on UDisc. There's an event, Wellington Centurion. Take a look at UDisc on Wellington anniversary, which is 24th of January, and you'll be able to follow all the scores. You'll be able to see how people are scoring throughout. So for a lot of people, it's going to be either the best round they've got on UDisc or the worst round that they've got on UDisc. We shall have to see. But Brady, out of 101 holes, what are you aiming for? You won it last year with 33, I think. Do you reckon there's got to be more this year, eh? 34. There's got to be more this year.
Yeah. So I'd like to break 40 this year. So I was really, really happy last year that literally on the last hole, I needed to birdie the last hole to get to 34 to make it 1 in every 3 holes I birdied throughout the entire day, which was a really big feat for me. That's a 30% birdie chance. Yeah. So I'm going to see if I can improve on that this year. Again, if you want to follow along, I'm going to be posting from my cohort, from the 4 that are with me. Just follow me on Instagram. It's Highlighter starting with 2 H's. Feel free to follow Highlighter. I'll keep my stories going the whole day. But yeah, I'm really shooting for that kind of 35 to 40 mark, trying to ideally get a 40% birdie chance for the day. How about you, Matt? What are you looking to do?
Yeah, so I think I shot something like 15 or 20 last year, and I reckon if I can get to about 30 to 30 to 35, I think I'd be pretty pleased with that over the course of the day. I'll be in a cohort that is with Team Sweet Change, Brett Carlisle, Simon Fogarty, and Jung Ha, the Old and in the Way team. So I'm going to be a Masters player for a day, and I'll be posting live on Instagram throughout the day as well from the Sweet Chain page. So make sure you head over to Instagram and give us a follow. You can also follow the hashtag Welly100, and that will link you to all of the stories as they happen. It's going to be a long day. There's going to be some bleary eyes at the beginning and the end, I'm sure. But it's going to be a good bit of fun, hopefully as well. We'll have some live video for you, as well as all the score updates. And there's actually 16 people who have registered and are playing. So we've got 4 cohorts that are going off. 16 people playing this year, and we've actually got some people in reserve. So if you want to join a team, we've got a couple of people who want to play but can't make up the 4 quite yet. So if you're out there and you want to play and you're in Wellington, then give us a shout, because we'd love to have you along. But if you're not and you want to follow it on UDisc, please do. And you'll be able to fight us on one big scorecard. Everybody's going to be on the same scorecard. There's going to be 101 holes, so keep swiping, and you'll get there eventually. The weekend after that is Heislander down in Dunedin. I shall see you there for anybody playing in that tournament. Very much looking forward to coming down south. I've got to dash back to Wellington before the Smash, but the Smash is the weekend after, which looks very good. But Brady, you'll be down for that.
Yep, just booked my tickets today. So yeah, it is official. The highlighter is coming south for South Island Champs.
Fantastic. And Makaripi in Rotorua is the 19th and 20th of February. Not seen anything of it yet. I mean, it's pretty known to be pretty last minute, so we'll see what happens there. And then Brady, Nationals 3rd to the 5th of March.
Yep. Nationals is coming along super well. I just got some confirmation for setup and that kind of stuff. I have my last organization. Matt, actually, if you want to do an exclusive, because I haven't released it yet, because I just finished it this afternoon, I just sent you a Facebook message. Can you bring that up? I sent you a photo. So yeah, I just finalized the logo for this year's Nationals. Like with a little help of a graphic designer friend of mine.
Can I make this bigger? I think I can.
Is that too small?
No. Just give me one moment. Sorry, this was a little bit of a surprise, but I'll get there.
Yeah, sorry.
No. You're good. Right. Right, let's see what we can do. Sorry, listeners.
For any of you listeners out there who aren't watching the video podcast, you will be able to see this. I will post it officially tomorrow. But yeah, so the 2022 New Zealand Disc Golf Championships presented by Pack and Save Kilburney does have an official logo. You'll see it on all of the branding going forward in the player's handbook. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked with how it came out. And yeah, like running with, this is pretty much a continuation of the Middle Earth Open and the Isengard Invitational that I've been running for the last 7 years. So as a little nod to that, this is the logo going forward for this year. So yeah, stay tuned. If you've not registered, we still got plenty of space. Feel free to register now. Registration in and early is great. It means, I'm not doing last minute scorecards in my lap while I'm watching Sweet Shine Live. Morgan, I love you. But yes, please register, help me out, help the other TDs and the organizational team out. Let us know that you're coming. All of that is in the Facebook event page. Absolutely.
Fantastic. Okay, so finally, if you're not going to Westside of Woodville and you're not at Roxburgh, but you are in the capital, then Heiser is on this weekend at Harcourt Park on Saturday. Hopefully see you there. Otherwise, have a great week wherever you're playing. Play some disc golf, get some birdies, have a good time. Cheers. See you next week.